Welcome back my weebs and otakus, it's Otakunofuji with another game video. Today we're talking about JDM, Japanese Driftmaster. A very good drifting game, but a shockingly poor racing game. All of those folks who are like, this game makes the wait for Forza Horizon 6 in Japan easier, are talking absolute nonsense. They know nothing. If you really can't wait for Forza 6, play Car X Street instead. If you like this or any of our other content, please like and subscribe. JDM Japanese Driftmaster is a driving game where you play as the new guy in this small Japanese town and get dragged into the drifting and racing culture of the area. The story is told via comic book panels, which is just about the worst possible way they could have done it. I skipped all of it. The manga is hard to see and hard to read, and screw all of that junk. Stories in racing games are pointless anyway. Thanks a lot for wasting everyone's time. Like I said, I skipped all of it and have no clue what was actually going on, but I blasted through the story just fine. Anyway, once you get into the actual gameplay, more problems arise. First, the good news. This is a game focused on stylishly and beautifully drifting around corners, and it genuinely plays really well when you're drifting. There are arcade and sim control options, and the sim controls actually work a lot better and give you a lot more control, so that's what I recommend using. Once you get used to it, the drifting feels incredibly good. The problem comes in the events you do where the CPU can score seemingly impossible amount of drift points, which can be very frustrating. If you can keep the CPU cars in your vision, they mostly score normal points and you can beat them. If they get too far ahead of you, however, the game goes crazy, and the CPU cars score like 30,000 more points than are even possible for you, so you have to do the event over again. You can drive absolutely perfectly and still get massacred because the CPU scoring is completely broken. But then you'll play the same event again and win it easily. It's all really weird and frustrating. In addition to drifting events, there are so-called grip racing events that are supposed to be more like normal racing. But it doesn't work because the brakes don't work at all, and the cars absolutely do not turn unless you drift. The CPU cars don't have that problem though, so while you're struggling just to turn around corners, the CPU cars are going way faster than you because normal driving is faster than drifting. Sorry, Mythbusters proved it. You can still easily win the grip events by simply upgrading your car and just blowing them all away in the straights. But these events are never particularly fun regardless of what you do. The story mode only takes about 5 hours to play through. There are some extra events you can do outside of the story, but there isn't that much meat to the experience overall. There are a couple dozen cars with licensed Nissan, Subaru, Mazda, and Honda models, along with unlicensed, but you know what they are, versions of Mitsubishi and Toyota. Most JDM cars you really want will probably be here. They are all fully upgradable and tunable, and you can slap on whatever body kits and bumpers and whatever else to customize the look as well. That all sounds good, except for the fact the story mode regularly forces you to drive pre-made cars instead of your perfectly tuned and fully upgraded custom cars. And the story mode cars all absolutely suck. You struggle to pass events because the cars suck. Which is frustrating because if they let you choose your own car, you'd win everything easily. I guess it's a story thing, but having to drive a piece of junk instead of your own car isn't fun. That's the running theme with JDM Japanese Driftmaster. There are way too many dumb design decisions that just aren't fun. It's really a shame because when the game gets out of the way and lets you do what it's actually good at, which is smoothly and perfectly drifting around twisting Japanese mountain roads, it feels amazingly good. Most of the game is not that though. I suppose there is fun to be had by just building whatever cars you want and drifting around the open world map, but for the $35 asking price, you can get a similar experience in better overall packages from a number of other games. I will say a couple of positive things. The music is generally pretty good with a surprisingly solid selection of J-pop and Japanese rock and metal, and lots of other genres in between. The map is also pretty interesting. It's sort of claustrophobically small compared to some other open world racers, but the design is more realistic than most. The roads are stunningly narrow instead of just being wide racetracks, and it really feels like you're driving through little Japanese towns. All in all though, I just don't love JDM Japanese Driftmaster. The core drifting gameplay is arguably the best you'll find in the simcade genre, but the rest of the game surrounding it just isn't that great. The story mode is stinky and the grip racing is atrocious. Car X Street or the Forza Horizon series, or the Crew Motorfest are what I'd recommend instead. Thanks a lot for watching, please like and subscribe and check out Otakunofuji.com.